if Ontario Power Generation has 0 transformers that are working, we cannot turn
Mhm.
anything that we're using right now into energy. How long does it take for us to, I guess, even turn the electricity back on? And like, never mind the communication
Mhm.
stations. Like, how long are we down for?
Yeah, so the biggest storm that we're aware of is called the Carrington event. And that's in 1859, I
Right.
believe.
Well, wait, hold on. I
Back
want to hear about
then,
that, but let's go to what hasn't happened yet. Let's really turn on the doom. So tell me, you said 1859 is the last time you guys have anything recorded that is a solar flare.
so we didn't have any of the fancy instruments that we have
Okay.
today. All we know about that storm is that it was so strong that the the impact of the sun and that coronal mass ejection that impacted Earth can be detected inside tree rings
Holy
decades
shit.
later because of the way it impacted Earth. So during that time, there was not much
Yeah.
electricity, but the blackout was significant. It came all the way down to the equator. It was so strong. So just 2 months ago, we had a storm that you could see the northern lights all the way down to Michigan or even down to Alabama,
Wow.
which is 20 degrees farther south. And that simply shows the impact of a what a strong storm can do. So now in terms of how long does it take for you to recover from it? So if you have prepared for it, you actually can switch off the transformers so that they're not engaged when the overcurrent happens. But in case you didn't, then it takes as long as needed to replace all of the failed transformers if the lines are okay, because sometimes the lines can itself get so hot that they can simply just
Oh my
burn out,
gosh.
because in some ways your electric wire can act like a resistor inside your heater. It gets so hot that it starts to just get red and then break down.
Right. And we're trying to repair all of
Those
these things without power.
Correct, correct.
Right. So we're talking like
So
6 months.
that's it could be very long. It depends on the how densely populated that the region is, how complex the electric grid is. If you're out in the woods, there's only one field line coming. If you're close to a power generator, maybe you're not as badly impacted. But if you're in densely populated New York
Right.
City, where lines are going everywhere
Right. It's going
and
to
there's
be
so many transformers,
chaos,
substations,
pandemonium. Okay.
yeah,
So
exactly.
in a scenario like that, does switching the energy usage in any country to renewables like solar, wind, etc., does that solve for this, or does it knock out, or would a solar flare kind of knock out the transformers in a wind turbine, for example?
Yeah. So one of the reasons that renewable is attractive is that renewable energy is what we call a localized power generator, meaning that instead of having one giant dam where it generates, or a power station, um, gas power generator, or nuclear event, you have all of the field lines going out from that central power
Yeah.
station to cities and elsewhere. Whereas when it comes to wind and solar, they can come closer because they don't have any pollution associated
Hmm.
with them. You can bring them closer to the cities or urban areas so that electricity doesn't have to travel so long
Okay.
to get to you. So that's one of the benefits, and that can in some ways mitigate some of that challenge associated with those big storms. On the other hand, if the electric grid itself has failed because of the failure of the substation, then you cannot access that power anyway.
Okay.
But one of the benefits is that when you bring it closer, that means that that ring that I told you about that is causing this giant electric current to form, you're making it smaller and smaller by making things more localized.